No. It's
No.
every 2 years. All right.
3 years.
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually 2 years, but thanks to COVID, just like it was in, I think it was 2019,
19, yeah.
19. So
19.
21 it should be in Prague, just like the live version, but unfortunately it wasn't possible. So it was decided that there will be a small version in last year, and they also just discuss for this year, because this year should be the big one, but it seems that whether it will happen, it will be also in online. So you'll see. But Peter Winkler, who just organized this, said that he doesn't want to make it online for this year. It was enough last year. So in case that it should be in online, that he will not participate in it, or he will not organize it.
Yes. And how are you, Martin? Как у вас дела?
Thank you for asking. I think it's the same with Zbigniew and Dana. After New Year and the beginning of this year, it's really busy now. First week seemed to be of January seemed to be very smooth and nice and so on. We still had some kind of Christmas atmosphere, but now it's really blowing up everything, and so I had several meetings today. I had 2 onlines with friends, and we had one club where we had also headmaster, like the jak se řekne starosta města.
Mayor, city
mayor
mayor.
of the town. Yeah. So it's really responsible, and we planned activities of our self-help group for this year, and it seemed to be the cooperation will be great. So it seemed to be very nice, but very very difficult for me, because I still organize most of the events. So the organizational side is on me. So my wife was really angry with me today that it's too much, and because of my disease, I have mania depression, so I feel like to be maniac. So everything is okay, no problems, everything is planned well and whatever. So it's really interesting, this beginning of the year. So I had problem to come to this session because I went to visit several farmers who produce their own stuff, and I encourage them to post their what they produce to our Facebook site, and that we will help them to advertise. So it's really interesting, but it's too much. I had already enough today. So now I will listen to Zbigniew very carefully, and I will be a little bit sleepy, and I will calm down. I will not have too many questions and too many adds to the presentation. I hope that Zbigniew will say everything.
I hope so.
I'm not sure.
Я бачу, що вже потрошки збираються учасники нашого вебінару. Вітаємо всіх. Зараз поки ще немає 16-ї години, то ми ще так готуємося. Але дякуємо, що ви вже є з нами. Можна ще побігти взяти собі чи чаю, чи кави, щось. Дякуємо, що ви маєте увімкнуті камери, бо так набагато краще спілкуватися.
So I will switch to English. Yeah.
Yeah,
General.
yeah.
Хто би хотів записатися в нашому чаті, привітатися і написати, звідки ви і хто, то ми будемо вдячні і раді.
Yeah, it was to me, please. So, hello to everyone. I'm glad to be here today, and I think I am looking forward, just like to your questions and to your ideas, because I have also some questions to you during my presentation. So do not hesitate to ask me also during the presentation if you want, or you can comment it also during my presentation. Yeah. So if we can start, just please, if you can share my
Just wait,
presentation.
wait a minute, Zbigniew, I will greet everyone. We didn't start yet. Отже, доброго дня ще раз всім, хто до нас долучається. Ми ще будемо доєднувати в процесі, але нагадаю, що ми зараз перебуваємо на третьому дні марафону вебінарів «Життя людей з досвідом психічного розладу. Чеська історія». Ми маємо з нами протягом 3 днів активістів з Чехії. Це є Дана Хрткова, Мартін Окач та Збіняк Робоч, який сьогодні буде мати презентацію на тему «Як досягнути якісного життя особі з психічним розладом та стигма у нашому житті». Вітаємо всіх, хто долучається, хто би хотів записатися, що він є з нами, або задати якесь своє запитання, то просимо нам писати у чат. Нагадаємо також, що ми записуємо цей вебінар і транслюємо його на YouTube. Записуємо ми його з надією також, що ми потім додамо переклад на українську мову якісний, щоб ті, хто не мали можливості бути з нами під час цього тижня, переглянули потім вебінари в майбутньому. ці вебінари є можливими завдяки ініціативі громадської організації Destigma. Ви можете також зайти на нашу Фейсбук-сторінку, підписатися на новини від нас, на інші якісь події. І також завдяки підтримці проєкту «Психічне здоров'я для України», який теж є дуже великим інформаційним ресурсом. Багато є різних навчальних статей і онлайн заходів також відбувається завдяки проєкту «Психічне здоров'я для України». Отже, Збінєк робот вже почав трошки виступати, і ми зараз передаємо йому слово. Збінєк, are you here? Okay, so now
thank you.
Тепер я переключаю на...
Thank you, Natalia, for possibility to be here. Thank you for all the people who attend such webinar, and I'm glad to be here. I want just like to tell that during my presentation, just like write questions to the chat, or you can also just ask me directly also, just like don't to have to just write or think about the question. So I will start. Today's we should talk about quality of life and about stigma. I just was thinking how to start here, because I think that as people with lived experience, and there are, I believe, many people with lived experience, I don't have to just like to introduce these topics much. Yeah, because quality of life is very often limited by our illness, and is also very limited by stigma. So this is what I will be talk today about, and I will wait for the presentation. I don't know whether there is some technical issue. Yeah, I can see it now. Perfect, great. So, as I said, today we will talk about quality life and stigma. First, I will tell you a little bit about me. So, as was said, my name is Zbigniew Roboch. It's quite difficult to pronounce it for you because you can read it as Ch. So, and together with Dana and Martin and other people, I'm part of non-governmental organization Dialogos here in the Czech Republic, and our aim is just like to move people to decision-making processes, to back just like to decide about their lives, to decide about the system, to decide about everything in their life, about living, about work. At the moment, I work as a destigmatization specialist in National Institute of Mental Health here in Czech Republic in Klecany. It's near Prague. And at the same time, my second half of my work is in the institutionalization project, where I'm just like a head of one activity. And this activity is establishing health and social network in mental health here in the Czech Republic. At the same time, as I said, we also have together these NGO Dialogos. What's my actual role? I said it already, that together with other people, we just make people to be part of decision-making processes, and we also, as we discussed before we started, that we want to ensure that the process of reform of mental health here in the Czech Republic will not start with the end of European projects. So these are very important aim of our days here in Czech Republic, not to be stopped in these changes. So I'll just move my presentation. What is the situation? Please, next slide. What is the situation in the Czech Republic? I just a little bit talk about it. The mental health care reform take place in the Czech Republic, and there are about 10 projects. The names are horrible in Czech. In English, I believe it also in Ukrainian. There is destigmatization, institutionalization, interventions, and so on, multidisciplinarity. But altogether, these projects that help us to live normal life, to live the best quality life as possible. And despite the fact that these processes started in 2017 mainly, I can see in very, very big steps in these 5 years of happening of these projects. And as I said, I hope that in next year there will be several new projects that will enable us just like to participate in these processes also in the future. So, and now to the theme of today. Please next slide. What does the quality of life mean? I just was looking for official definition, and I found the definition of WHO, the World Health Organization, and it says that it's similar to recovery and it's individual perception of their position in life in the context of the culture, value system in which they live, and in relation to their goals, expectations, standards, and concerns. And this quality include wealth, employment, environment, physical and mental health, education, recreation, leisure time, social belonging, religious beliefs, safety, security, and freedom. It's an official, just like definition, but as I can feel it, I will say that quality of life is our life. How can we live it in our society? How can feel in society? But also, and very important point of this, how I see myself. And I just touch a little bit the theme of stigma, and mainly self-stigma, which is also very important, and it's connected to the issue of mental health. So it was just like official definition, and I would like ask you, just like if you can tell, what do you feel? What does this mean for you? Do you have any other ideas or any feelings? What does this word, this quality of life, mean for you? Is there someone who will tell me, please? If not, no problem. But I will be glad if you can tell me your ideas.
My idea is the possibility of choices in my life.
Yeah, it's very, very important point. I agree with it, because there are, for me, why I just participate in the reform and why I just I'm active. There are two main points for me, and one is human rights. It was the theme of Dana in her webinar. And the second very important point for me is possibility to choice. Possibility to choice in every situation. Yeah, very thank you. Thank you for this idea. It's a very important idea. Does anyone any other idea? No, probably not. So we will move to the next slide, please. And what influences our quality of life? I just put there this short sentences, not sentences, but word. What I just am presenting is my feelings and what I see as a very important. Maybe that you have another idea, another opinion, but this is my also experience. Yeah. What influences quality of life after the start of my disease was the work possibility. The work possibility was for me one of the most important issues after starting of my disease, because I just was thinking that I'm not able to work anymore, that if I will work, that I will just make mistakes, and it will be horrible, that every person will see that I am mentally ill, and that my colleagues will take me as a stranger. I usually say that I feel like UFO, yeah, that unidentified flying object. But what was the feeling about me at the time? So work possibility, I think that is very important issue that influences our quality of life. Living possibility. As maybe I told it in last webinars, but I'm glad that my family is working, that my friends are still my friends, that I have possibility to work, I have possibility to live, yeah, and live with my family, yeah. But I think that many people, just like after the starting of their illness, they have to go back to their parents because they are not able to earn enough money to live separately. They have no support to live separately. So, in my opinion, the living possibility to live alone or with family, it's a very important issue which influence our quality of life. The other point is access to health and social services. Yeah, health services. I can say that was what I just faced and what I use in my life. Maybe fortunately, I wasn't client of social services, because health services at the time of my attack just like helped me to go back to standard or normal life, I can say. But I that access to proper service, health or social service at the time when I need it, and also at the place where I need it, it's very important, and it's also the main goal of this reform. To we discussed it last time when Martin was speaking, that it's important, just like not to go 100 kilometers for seeking helps, but this help. And also, I will support Martin. Also, the support of family to be able to help me in some cases is very important. So it's about health and social services. What else influence our quality of life? As I said, it's one of the major point for me personally, and it's human rights, because human rights, we have right to live a normal life, and very often, unfortunately, in hospitals, but not only in hospitals, the human rights are big problems. Yeah, because we in time of our illness, we just think about many things, and we just like are we looks like us that we don't know anything, on that we are not able to think normally, but it's not true at the moment. But other people just like can violate our human rights, maybe also because of their feeling that we are not able just like to ensure ourselves at the time. what influences also our the quality is self-esteem, and is concerning to me is the question of stigma and mainly self-stigma, as I said. Yeah. Please, next slide. And I will tell you a little bit, just like theory concerning stigma. I believe that you know it, but just like what are the types of stigma? One of the big stigma is social stigma. Social stigma means that the people are looking at you from different point of view, that you are not included in the society, you are excluded. And it's a big issue. It was a big issue for me. So the other type of stigma, and for me it's most important, is self-stigma. That means that I believe that I am not a good person, or I have no right to live normal life because of my illness. And it's connected to my self-esteem, that maybe in the future I will not be able to work. I will not be able to live in my own flat. So it's also a big issue for me at the time of my illness. So the other type is associated stigma. It's also a big issue because it was also in case of my family, and that my wife, despite the fact that she works in medicine field, just like I can felt at the time that there is associated stigma in her case, that maybe of two types. That first, that she was also part of my illness, just like that, maybe that they're speaking and other things that can be the reason for starting the stigma. And also, despite the fact that she knows she had many information about the illness, that there was just like, what will the rest of the family think about her and about me? What will our neighborhood will think about us, and so on. So I think that associated stigma is also important to beat. So the final part or final type is structural stigma. For example, in the Czech Republic, at the time when we started the reform of psychiatric care, only about 2% of GDP was just like invest in mental health issue or in health field. So, and standard in Western Europe was between 5 and 10%, just like of HDP in each country. So there was not enough money, just like to invest to hospitals. There was not enough money to start new type of services and so on. And I am glad that the situation changes at the time. And also, what are the perceptions, or how the society, please next slide, how the society see the stigma, or what was the stigma also in our society, that there was question, I wouldn't mind to, for example, live next to the people with mental illness, and only 18% of people in the Czech Republic say that there is not problem to live next to the people with mental illness. only 25% in year 2015 said that it's not a problem to work with people with mental illness. Only 30% of people said that they are okay with being neighbor of people with mental illness, and 34% of people said that they are okay to be a friend with the people of mental illness. So as you can see, the stigma was, and I'm afraid that still is, very high in the society. But we are doing and we are working to change the situation. But I will use the Danas sentence that in human life, it's normal that but because she's a researcher, and she said that when she worked in another field, that the changes in normal research about 10, 20, 30, 50% is great. But in the field of mental health and in the field of stigma, if the change will be just like 3, 4, 5% in the next years, it will be absolutely great. Yeah, that when we can, that the change in this field will go unfortunately slowly, and we will not see the big numbers in the near future. But it will last several years, just like to change the situation. But I am afraid that similar situation would be in Ukraine, because we have similar history or post-Soviet Union history. So, and also there are also big institutions that just like where it's difficult to change the thinking of people who work there. So, another number is that there is idea, or it was the question whether the placing services for people with mental illness just like will reduce the price of property which is in the neighborhood, and 22% of people said yes, in case that there will be some service for people with mental illness, that it will lower the price of our property here. So 1/5 of people think in this way, and only 55% of people said that no one has a right to exclude people with mental illness from their neighborhood. So if I will tell it in other way, 45% of people say that the others have right to exclude the people from their neighborhood. It's horrible. Almost half of people. And only 38% of people just say that they are not afraid being just like a neighborhood with people who can seek mental health care. So I hope that these are numbers from year 2015, and I hope that the numbers for in next research would be in some cases lower, but in some cases higher, but that it will be better situation in the future. And please, next slide. And what does stigma leads to? Stigma leads to less recovery chance. Yeah, I think it's true, because if I believe that I'm not right part of society, so and that I am no right to live normally. So it will, I will have less chance to recover from my illness. Lower life standard for sure, because the stigma also leads to less chance to work, less chance to educate. So, and it directly lower my life standard. Higher social economic problems. Yeah, it's connected to what I said already. No work, no support, and it also problem with living, because I'm not able to pay for my living, for example. And this everything, these factors leads to decrease in quality of our life. What? Please, next slide. Stigma also lead to reluctance to seek treatment. Yeah, because just like if I will go to hospital, yeah, the people will look at me, yeah, and say, yeah, this is the strange man or something like that. So I will not seek the help. It's better for me. Nobody knows that I have the problem. Delay in treatment, which increases morbidity and mortality. Also, there are two types of this delay in treatment in psychiatric care, because I will seek help later when the situation will go worse and worse and worse. Hopefully that I will seek. And also it's connected to the fact that sometimes the other doctors just said, oh, you have some psychiatric problems, so first solve your psychiatric problems, then we will solve this problem. And they don't believe that you have also problem in another field than in psychiatric. Yeah. And also socialization avoidance and isolation. Yeah, because first, if you believe that you are not a part of society and you will not go to the society because everyone will see that you have mental problems, so it can lead to social rejection and isolation, and it's a very big problem. I think that isolation is a big problem of mental health issues, to isolate from others. And it also leads together to decrease of quality of life. And this next slide. It also leads to worse well-being, mainly psychological well-being, and increased feelings of shame or self-doubt. And also finally, it's connected with human rights. It also leads to harassment, violence, and bullying. And as I said before, all these also leads to decrease in quality of life. Please, next slide. And it's all quite final slide of what stigma leads to. As I said, it also leads to human rights violation, limited access to housing and work possibilities. We spoke about it before, and lack of control and opportunity to choose. That was Dana said also. Possibility to choose, possibility to decide about my life, and it also leads to decrease in quality of life. Please, next slide. And all these factors can lead and usually leads to discrimination. Discrimination in social life, discrimination in work life. So this is what I can see as what stigma leads to. And what's just like another theory, what stigmatization is about. It's about knowledge, which is represented by stereotypes, lack of knowledge usually. It's about attitudes. It's about our prejudices. How can we see the things, and it's about acting, how we act, whether we discriminate or not. There are some types of, please next slide. It's in Czech, but I think that you just have the same in Ukraine, that when the newspapers write about people with mental health problems, it's usually about violence. It's usually that some person is weak, that he probably killed someone, and so on. So this is also the big discrimination of people with lived experience. And you can see also the film that just like shows the American maybe type of healing in last century. Yeah. But that's what people just like mention, or just like what's go in their head when they are starting speaking usually about the mental health problems. Just I can see the views like this. And now I would be, I hope, more positive. How to reach the best quality of our lives, because it's up to us. It's up to everyone of how we just deal with this stigma. And for me, the most important was just like to beat my stigma, and it took me about 2 years at least, just like to beat the biggest self-stigma, and it took me about 4 years just like to beat self-stigma at all. Yeah. And what helps me was just like that I start to work in mental health field, and I can see that I am able to help and other people, that, and mainly it also just helped me that I can see that what I do, that is meaningful. And before, in my life before the illness, the meaningfulness was, there was lack of meaningfulness.
Виключіть, будь ласка, всі мікрофони, бо заважає.
Also reach the best quality of our lives by building self-esteem is connected to when I was successful to beat my self-stigma, I started building my self-esteem. And what helped me really much was that I have ability and that I start working, because maybe in case that if I wouldn't start work, maybe I wouldn't beat my self-stigma, and I wasn't able to build my self-esteem. So for me, work was a very important issue and very important factor, which helped me to increase also the quality of my life because of several factors. I earned money. It was the meaning of my life, and it shows me that despite the fact that at the beginning it was difficult, just like to read and so on, that after weeks, months, and years, it was getting better and better and better. At that time, I say that I work more than before my illness, and that it's more meaningful than before my illness. So please, next slide. Yeah, thank you. very important also is possibility to study, because or educate ourselves, not only study, but many people, when they were facing the mental the illness, they stopped studying, they wasn't able to finish their studies and so on. And I think that finishing studies or starting studies after the illness is very important. And it also helps to increase the self-esteem. And so also I wrote by participating that we can increase the quality of our life. And I mean by participating in decision making in my family, what we will do during the weekend, by decision making in my work. Yeah, we will do this, we will do this. By decision making in during the meetings concerning the reform. Yeah, my opinion on this is this. Yeah, every individual decision making, my participation in all the fields is important. And by empowering ourselves, it's also connected with the chance to be empowered. Yeah, whether the family say, don't do this because we are afraid. When the some carers in social company will tell you, don't do this because we are afraid that you will get worse. We will go with you to this office because probably you are not able just like to solve this problem. Yeah, I think that we have right to do mistakes in our life, and the mistakes are the biggest chance how to get better. Or yeah. And please, next slide. I also, this is one point I already have there by studying, but I have by educating. I think that it's also important that we can educate other people. We can educate professionals, what we feel, what we thinking about about their work, about the system. We can also increase quality of our life by speaking out. Yeah, that we will just tell, let's see, I am mentally ill, but I can live my life fully, maybe better than you can. I'm working, I have family, I have kids, and I live a successful life. Yeah. And also the last point, I think it's which I mentioned, is by living and working together with majority. Also, it's important just like to see that we can work, we can live together with other people. We are not dangerous for others, and we are part of the team, and we can do it at the same level as other do, and maybe sometimes we produce better work and better things than the others. So please, next slide. Yeah, if you can, yeah, great. One more, please, one more step. Perfect. I just used from my work. I work in destigmatization project, and I like this picture because at first, after the start of the illness, me means illness. I am the full of thinking about the illness. But it's very important that I have another roles, not only I'm not only the illness. I'm part of my family. I am the father of my 3 kids. I have friends. I have hobbies. I'm a part of projects, so I can work. There is still small part which say, yeah, but you have some illness or you have some limits concerning your life with the illness. But I have some plans, dreams. I can play volleyball. I can do everything what I want usually with some limits, but I can do this. So this is very important point, I think, for recovery and for building better quality of our lives, and just like to see it from this point of view. I'm not only the illness, I'm all of these parts. This is part of me. Also, the illness is still here, but it's only a small part of it. So please, next slide. I'm also this. I think this is almost the last slide, and I have 2 questions for you. Just like to think about what can I do to contribute. What can I do to contribute in building better quality of life of me, but not only of me, but also to other people with mental illness problems. And the last question is, what will I do? Not what only can I do, but what will I do with this? Yeah, and I think that the fact that you are here at the webinar is very important for us, that you are doing something with the stigma. There is a stigma in Ukraine. We are trying to do something with stigma in Czech Republic, and we all together will try to beat the stigma all around the world. So that's what we can do, not only for stigma, but for better life of all of us. And I think that is the last slide, and I want to thank you for your attention, and I am looking forward to your questions and to your ideas. Thank you.
Дуже дякую, Збінєк. Така ваша презентація дає просто можливість зробити такий флешбек з того дійсно, що відбувається в нашому суспільстві, як ми сприймаємо себе, як ми сприймаємо інших людей, і що ми справді можемо зробити для того, щоб наше суспільство стало краще, чи то в Україні, чи то в Чехії, чи по всьому світі. І мене дуже вразила оця оцінка, що якщо навіть зміна відбувається на 3-4%, то це вже в нашій темі дуже добрий результат. Бо ми в нашій організації, працюючи в Україні, бачимо, що дуже повільно відбуваються зміни ментальності, і справді думаємо, напевно, ми нічого не досягаємо. Але я сподіваюся, що тих невеличких 3-4% ми таки досягаємо і будемо бачити результат. Не скоро, бо теж десь минулого року спілкувалася з британцями, які розповідали про реформу в них, яка почалася ще в 80-х роках минулого століття. То їм це зайняло майже 40 чи 50 років, щоб досягнути якихось добрих результатів. Тому я розумію, що ще попереду і в вас, і в нас дуже багато роботи.
Yeah, and I am afraid that it's never-ending story. and it will be never-ending story, because in each country, when I was speaking also to the British people or to Netherlands people, there is the only differences are in numbers. The stigma is still here. The same problems as we solve is still here, but only maybe, as I said, the numbers that 50% people tell that they wouldn't live next to the people with mental illness in England is not 50, it's only 25% maybe at a time. So this is a change, but stigma will still be here, and the new people are born and new people are still stigmatized. So as I'm positive, not in COVID meaning, but I'm positive also in my life. But I am afraid that we will never beat finally stigma. That the anti-stigma programs will still have to be here in next decades, maybe in next 100 years.
May I say something? Because I think that it's a little bit discussable. Stigma is mainly in our heads. And I had opportunity to find out that also today. I had meeting of self-help group, and there came one guy, and he was very negative. In everything, he was really negative. He, I would say, had a self-stigma and a stigma about surroundings. But when we started to discuss with him and showed him other way of viewing situations and himself, he started to realize that the world is nice, even he had problems before. So sometimes the stigma is in our head, how we realize people treat us and how the situation looks like around us. So he sometimes carry the stigma with us. Problem is if we are positive on the treating others, treating situations, I am not able to influence others and viewing of others, but I am able to influence myself. So if we try to find the way otherwise around, positive way, we start to find out that stigma is lower or stigma doesn't exist. So this is something what we have to realize. We all people, when we are alone, we have problem with myself. When the people are together with as a couple, they start to have problem with each other finally. And if we are group, we probably will have immediately problems with each other. So actually the troubles are always with us. So, and stigma is kind of trouble we have. So I would like to say that we as alone are like obliged to have the positive way of looking at the thing because we are not able to influence others. That's my view. And this is how I cope with stigma for my last 36 years, how I live with my 3 psychotic diagnoses.
But Martin, we are a member of society and we can interact each other and we can break our self-stigma. You are right, it is our task, our work, but the social stigma is very, very high in the Czech society. And when you interact with other people who don't respect you, and so your self-stigma will increase. And in the Czech Republic, we prepared a questionnaire for people with lived experience, and there was a questionnaire for self-stigma, and the self-stigma is very, very high in people with mental health problems, and they need help. You are right. When I am alone, I cannot discuss my problems with others, and the problems will be big, so big. But you need help the other people, and you can interact with other people, and you can influence other people, but the other people influence you also. Yeah, it is not so easy to say that everything we can do is to break self-stigma, because it is not easy. It is a very, very long process from my point of view.
Yeah, if I can say, just like to and what Anna said also, for me, as I said, was one of the most important fact was that I tried to beat self-stigma. And when I little beat my self-stigma, I realized that the illness paradoxically helped me to live better life after the illness, because I realized that the importance of ideas or of and also I just realized that my life before the illness wasn't as good as I think that it was. That there are another important issues which I should solve, and that I have to be happy with myself first.
And I would like to say to people in Ukraine, don't be alone, but my way to not be alone is to read articles about mental health. It is very interesting because you will see which problems solve people in other countries or in Ukraine, and you will see that you are not alone on the earth. We are many people with mental health problems, and we solve, as Zbigniew said, the similar problems around the world. So we read publications, books, and something like that about mental health.
You know, the best book about mental health is your Bible you have. It's full of really people who were crazy, but they were loved. And everybody loved them and we admire them, but most of them behaved really crazy. So this is my recommendation. Read your Bibles and be encouraged by that, because it's really a book of love for each of us.
And for me, it's also just like to prepare webinars and prepare meetings and prepare conferences all around the world, just like to support each other and despite the fact where we live and what we solve in our lives.
Так, і ще хочу нагадати про одну Біблію, яка має бути всіх нас. Це Конвенція про права людей з інвалідністю. Що хто ще не мав, хто працює у цій сфері, або хто має якийсь досвід психічного розладу, але ще не читав, то, будь ласка, почитайте. І хоча в нас є там в українському варіанті деякі недоліки з розумінням взагалі терміну інвалідність, ми вже про це згадували, але в принципі це добрий інструмент, власне, того розуміти, яким чином ми би мали працювати і формувати наші послуги. І в мене, власне, до цього є таке одне питання, чи може Дана, чи Збіняк, чи хтось може, чи ви можете згадати якийсь такий приклад, щоб був справді правовий механізм захисту від стигми чи дискримінації? Як люди можуть себе справді захистити, чи використовуючи конвенцію, чи звертаючись десь в якісь органи? Чи ви можете згадати, що був якийсь такий випадок?
So, big experience for me, and I have two main articles in CRPD, which are very important for me. And it is Article 19, independent living in the community, and family. Family is, I think, 23 or 25. And when I read CRPD, I saw that I have so many chances to live a legal life, to live in society without any prejudice and something like that. And the right on family and to have children for us is one basic right for the people on the planet. So, and I was thinking in my head that after the illness, that I am not woman who should have children, family, because I am not on such level to be able to take care. But I was ill after my children. So I had already children when I was first hospitalized. But the thinking about that was in this way: you are not able to take care about children, you didn't have any children. And it is very, for women especially, it is a very big thinking. So it's my opinion,
Yeah, I don't know whether I catch the question in proper way, but yeah, I think that, as what Dana said, when I read this document, I just realized, oh, it's just like what we are talking about, what we are seeking, what we are trying to just like to change. Everything is written in this document. We have the right to live normal, standard life as other people, as a health people, and each point of this document is just about living normal, standard life. There are some limits for us, which are that we are more tired and so on and so on, but we still have the same rights as the other people, despite these limits. And what's good is that there are also organizations which just are concerning on this issue. There is also office called Ombudsman. I don't know how it's in English or in Ukrainian, but this is the person just like who is ensuring the rights of people, also the people with health problems, but also people with social and other problems. So, and Martin is also part of the structure in the field of mental health here in the Czech Republic. So I think it's good that there are some organizations and institutions that should ensure that this document is a part of the legal system, and that it's not only paper. That we can say, hey, look, this is what we are saying. Article 19, Article 9. Let's see. And Czech Republic, just like Britain, or is just like said, we are part of the countries which have these document in their legal system. And it's not I think that it shouldn't, it's a problem, but I know that one person just like also went to court about this issue, and he won, that he was limited and discriminated.
I was a lawyer doing legal stuff for many years. And actually, I realized that my conclusion after many years of legal work is that as soon as you don't have written the law in your heart, you will not obey it. Law is something what is not ensuring that you will keep the law. You have to realize that law is something what is good to giving you some barriers how to behave to yourself, how to behave to each other. That's something what is giving us borders. So actually, we have to learn how to live in the borders. When I realized that my sickness is serious, I started to look for help, and actually I received this help for people who loved me, from my surroundings. And that's what actually ensured me to live my life with sickness as a normal person for 20 years, between two relapses, between two attacks. So I could really live real life as a person who had borders, who was kept in the borders of the law, actually. So it's something what is instructing me that when I keep my law to myself and I keep law to others, the law is called love. So when people love me, they don't want to hurt me. It's about stigma. When people love each other, then don't fight to each other. But when they don't know each other, they fight to each other. So actually, love is fulfillment of the law. When we love each other, we don't need law. So actually, when I spread waves of love, I fight stigma. That's my conclusion, which I made after many years of living with my illness. When I behave nice to children, when I behave nice to my wife, when I behave nice to the person who hates me, I fight the problems. So that's my conclusion with stigma. It's my responsibility to spread love. This is what I actually fight, to be a loving person. I am not always like this, but this is what I recommend, to look for behaving with love. I am not able to influence others. I can influence my behaving. When I behave with love, and I am doing it as an ambassador in a work group with Ombudsman, I am trying to influence people with love. That's the tool I am able to use.
Nice, Martin. But in real Bible, we have 10 rules for society to live together. So without rules, it is impossible. And our society is not ideal. So we have many laws, many acts, many rules, many methodics, and something like that to love our lives. But
because
I agree with you.
We don't love each other. We always invent new rule, but we are inventing new rules, and nobody knows them. I can ensure you, no lawyers knows the rules.
So for me, 10 rules stated in Bible is enough, and I am trying to live.
You know, the conclusion of the 10 rules is the rule of love. To love each other, to love myself, and to love God. That's fulfillment of the law. That's called Gold Commandment, because nobody of us is able to keep 10 commandments. I am breaking the 10 commandments several times per day. But I know that I am loved, and I try to spread the love. And that's overcoming the breaking the law.
I love you, Martin. Yeah, but it was not joke there, but I understand it. Yeah, but it's we can just what I feel that we can call it in different ways, but we can live according such rules. Yeah, according to love rule, according to 10 Bible rules. So, but what I feel that it's up to me. If I feel, if I act according my best ideas, and it's what how can I interact also the others. Yeah, if I'm a good man, and I'm trying to be as good as I'm able to. So it can also just like interact my wife, interact my children. As you said, I'm not successful many times per day. I just say, hey, oh, what are you doing? Just like, yeah, you are not loving at the moment. Yeah, but yeah, but I just act my child in bad way. It's like, yeah, and you know it. I think that I haven't just like to tell about more about it. Yeah, but I agree with you. Yeah, the love is very important. But how can I love Putin at the moment? I don't know him, and he seems to me that he is a strange man.
Nobody
So,
of us is black and white. Putin has positive sides as I have bad sides and so on. So don't worry. Nobody is pure God. Nobody is pure devil. It's not even one of us. So don't worry about it.
Yeah,
and
but
sometimes
let's
media and politics is something what is creating the stuff. So don't worry about that.
Yes, but можна я ще, власне, скажу такий свій коментар. Мені дуже сподобалося, Мартіне, те, що ви сказали, що якщо ми не знаємо один одного, то тоді ми боїмося, так? І тоді, власне, виникає та стигма. Бо коли люди не знають, наприклад, то вони мають таке уявлення про всіх з людей, які мають досвід психічного розладу, що це страшні і небезпечні люди, так? Але коли ми знаходимо тих, які готові говорити, ділитися своїм досвідом, пояснювати, що вони пережили, то всім відкриваються іншим очі, і вони по-іншому тоді дивляться і на тих людей, і взагалі на психічні проблеми загалом. Тому я думаю, це знання один одного, воно потім веде до поваги і до любові. Так? І в нас тут є коментарі від наших слухачів, що дякую, дуже цінна інформація, дякую вам за щирість і практичні рекомендації. І так, і багато сердечок до тої думки Мартіна, що коли ми любимо один одного, то нам не потрібен закон. Так? Ця думка знайшла свій фідбек тут в нашій аудиторії. І ще я прошу, хто би хотів з учасників задати якесь запитання, то прошу або написати в чат, або підняти руку, ми дамо слово, просто якийсь коментар. Хто приймав участь в 3 вебінарах, чи лише сьогодні, якісь у вас думки з цього приводу, то, будь ласка, зголосіться, скажіть чи напишіть, ми дуже радо вас послухаємо. І поки ви ще збираєтеся з думками, то ще одне таке те, що мені, власне, згадалося, це про те, як медіа, як засоби масової інформації висвітлюють, так, якісь події і те, що Збінєк використовував в своїй презентації. Що мене це надихнуло на те, що ще треба працювати з медіа ще більше, щоб в нас не було таких тільки скандальних якихось статей чи інформації, що стосується психічного здоров'я, а щоб медіа теж вміли краще пояснювати, як, власне, турбуватися про себе, як не доводити до кризису, і як сприймати один одного, щоб ламати цю стигму, а не формувати її. Так що дуже дякую, Збінєк, що ви згадали за це в своїй презентації.
And we in our work, just like in destigmatization projects, we have also some media guides, how to write about mental health issues and so on. And we send it also to people, to newspapers and TVs, just like to help them to sometimes just like tell, thank you that you are writing about this issue, and there is some support how to write about it. And also if we just like face that someone wrote in bad way, we just tell, yeah, but we are afraid that you are writing in this way, and there is some material which could help you to see it from another point of view, and that's what we also prepared for in the Czech Republic.
I found out that the easiest way how to influence media is to write article alone and to post it to the media. I am doing that in the newsletter. We have monthly newsletter which goes to every citizen of our little town to their post box. There is about, I don't know, 3,000-4,000 newsletters, and it goes with the news which are in our town and surroundings. And actually, I found out that I am able to write the article and to post it, and nobody is correcting the content. So actually, and I found out that I have friends around me who are doing that not to the once a month, but to daily newspapers. So we have to find, and maybe to pray to find, somebody who will not, media guide is okay, but this is for journalists who are not in our side. But if we, Dana, Zbigniew, or me, start to write articles about this issue, it's something what is securing content that it's okay, and we can post it to the daily newspapers. So this is something what is I know that Dana, Zbigniew, and we have other work to do. I am just overdoing that. Yeah, that don't take it seriously. But as I once a month write, I am just posting the articles to our monthly newsletter. Deadline is today. That's why I have too much work now. So it's something what is maybe good to think. Who is among us as a involved people in this thema, who is really called to write articles on the right way? Let's try to encourage each other and to do it.
Я для себе записала під час наших вебінарів 3 сторінки різних ідей і запитань. І я думаю, що я зберу це і, можливо, ми підготуємо разом з вами трошки пізніше ще якісь зустрічі, ще якісь вебінари. А поки що я хочу вам дуже подякувати, сказати всім нашим гостям ще раз, що з нами були активісти організації Dialogos з Чеської Республіки, Дана Хрткова, Zbigniew Робох і Мартін Окач, які ділилися, були дуже відкриті з нами ці 3 дні, ділилися своїми історіями, своїм досвідом, своїми думками. Мали навіть між собою таку дискусію, за якою цікаво дуже спостерігати. Тому я дуже-дуже щиро вам дякую від імені всіх, хто приймав участь в цих вебінарах, бо справді вони були дуже корисні. Для мене і для нашої організації вони були дуже корисні. Я сподіваюся, що ще багато хто зможе їх подивитися, відео, і теж взяти для себе багато цікавих, корисних ідей для того, щоб все-таки будувати краще суспільство. Кращу Україну, кращу Чехію і кращий світ. І чи ви ще щось хочете сказати? Будь ласка, я ще вам теж дам слово.
I would like to offer my time for looking together with you for some articles about mental health. When you will have any problem, So I am prepared to answer your emails and go together with you through the process of finding of articles. So please don't forget my email address, and we can cooperate in such way.
Yeah, and if I can, yeah, I'm glad that I was here at your webinar. Thank you, Natalia, for organizing, sir. Thank for other people who are not, maybe we don't see them, but there are also many people who prepare this, so thanks. And I'm looking forward to next cooperation, because I believe, and I'm sure about it, that this cooperation it ensure just like enrich me. Such meetings, such webinars just enrich me. As I said, also it helped me just like to tell, yeah, what are you doing? It's maybe important, but it's meaningful. Yeah, and thank you for have opportunity to being part of it.
Дорогая Наталья, дуже дякую, что вы организовала, или ты организовала это случай. Я был очень рад, что я мог с вами быть и что так дискутировать с вами. И я буду тоже очень рад, когда будут разные питания или такие вопросы, что люди будут иметь реакцию, что эта дискуссия будет такая продолжать дальше, на дальший час, дальше время. Takže большое спасибо. И я очень люблю, как у вас есть как это сказать, будь ласка. Это очень просто, будь ласка. Я очень люблю это будь ласка. Так, большое спасибо и просим, будь ласка. Любовь, что есть с нами, с всеми.
Спасибо. Thank you very much, Martin. Дякую дуже. Дуже дякую ще нашим перекладачкам, Оксані та Юлії, які допомагали всім зрозуміти суть цих вебінарів. І бажаю всім гарного здоров'я, гарного вечора. Пишіть нам або на нашу електронну пошту, і я допоможу вам скомунікувати з нашими чеськими друзями, або на Facebook, на нашу сторінку Destigma. І сподіваюся, що до нових зустрічей. Bye-bye.